Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grimreaper coming at you for another video of Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully you're doing well and hopefully you're looking after yourself and a positive start to the week wherever you are in the world. And a fantastic start to, I guess things are quieting down in Raid, right? Some bits and bobs are going on in Raidshadowlegends and things are starting to get more quiet. I've done some testing with a champion that obviously is on the thumbnail and you guys are clearly interested in today. I know a lot of us have a Gnishak on our accounts. He was a former fusion champion. Once I can find him, we use the Force Affinity, one of my favorite champions in the game, and probably the best bomb legendary champion in the game. But we're not going to talk about the bombs so much today. We're going to try and showcase the poisons instead, which is on his passive ability here, which is non-resistible after placing bombs. And I'm going to go into detail about Gnishak and why he is so good now, especially with this new relic, which I'll showcase as well today. Now, he was a fusion back in the day. He was also a guaranteed champion. I think around about 2 years ago, around about the same time when Tormund was a guaranteed champion in the Titan race, and he was going for about 158 shots. So I know a lot of people have this guy. He's also very good in PvE in areas. He can do fairly good damage in Hydra. He can also be used in Boss, and also can be used as a poisoner for Ice Column, Normal, and Dragon in general as well. So he's a fantastic champion, has loads of flexibilities. But right now, I think he should be coming into your live arena setups. Now, I won't be taking him into live arena for today's video. I will be bringing him into, well, obviously I do actually tend to use him time to time in live arena. I've updated his build slightly with the blessings and etc., which will go in synergy with the poisons and stuff like that as well. We're not at the high end of arena, but I have been pushing pretty fairly high as possible as I could go without burning too many gems. So alright then, so I wanted to test him against some fairly tanky nukers. So we have Ashnar and Commodus, who are probably much the king of bombs, right, Mr. Commodus? But he is still acceptable to Gnishak if he is faster. So long as we're faster, we will win this fight, right? So we'll come in with the increased attack, which obviously would be very beneficial with the Gnishak. We'll showcase him later without increased attack, which is where I think that the relic will make him better where you're not using him without increased attack. I've got a bit of a sore throat there. So I won't go ahead and do the Big Bang Theory here. We want to see the poisons coming into effect. I was hoping to Gnishak would have a bit more health. Sorry, the Ashnar would have a bit more health. So we could see the poisons in play. But unfortunately, this team is a little bit too squishy. But you can see there, we're coming in with this. Now, obviously, the bombs is the main way of doing damage with him. But the problem with Gnishak, sometimes he doesn't, especially when you ban increased attack, doesn't kill the target. So this is when the poison lethal dose relic blessing is going to really be useful. Now with this relic, you do need at least a level 1 blessing to kind of make it work with Gnishak, and the bigger the lethal dose, the better it will do, because the more damage you'll do. Taurus and Marishka, so Marishka in general is one of the counters that you'll need to be careful against. It can still work against Marishka if you find a way to strip the block damage off, and if they're not using protection or using lightning cage, that's definitely something you can definitely do. And you can see here, teams like this are generally quite difficult because of the Marishka in this team. Also, Star Stage can be difficult, and these two are normally in Ferald's pieces as well because of Commodus and Gnishak and etc. So they're quite difficult teams to kind of take on. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a better team to take on, and then we'll come back right after this. Alright then, so we have a Star Sage here, and I kind of just want to take this team on to kind of showcase on what we are fighting. I'm actually going to bring in Marishka because Marishka will allow us to do the increased accuracy. I just need to make sure that she's built, ready to go. I think she's fast enough overall to be speed tuned to him Arbiter. I'm not too sure, I haven't checked the maths obviously. We're just going to throw them in and kind of see how it works overall. Now the only problem with Gnishak here is, again, you can see here we have the Commodus, sorry, the Sigford, which is going to give us a counter. and then you can see that the Catrixia could give me a weak hit overall. But you will see here, if the lightning cage procs in my favor, then we can potentially strip off this immunity. Unfortunately, we are a bit lucky. We're going to go ahead and still put the poison out. So you can see here we got resisted one of the bombs, which then still dropped the poisons overall, which is pretty nice. And now we can do our job here. Now, unfortunately, Sigfrid will probably kill me in a second, but then I have got my own Sigfrid in there as a generally is just a support champion, and you can see that will make this work in a second. I'm just going to press this in because I don't want to overshadow Gnishak here with the Sigfrid. I think that's something that we have to try and keep in right. Arbiter's going to go ahead and do that off, but then he revives, and that was a real problem. Now, if he was in Stone Skin, we would probably win this fight. Unfortunately, we're not in Stone Skin, and looks like we got resisted on her there, but we can start putting out some more bombs and try and make this a bit more useful. We'll probably have lost this fight now just because generally the Catrixia is gonna probably flip and or something like that, unless I can keep her busy with these abilities. I'm gonna try and get more bombs out again with the A1. He's still got his block damage, which is pretty useful. So there's not much I can really do here. Now, again, Sigfrid, you're not going to know when he's in immunity, so this is just something to kind of bear in mind as counters. And that's a good thing to have, is counters in this game. You can see here we stripped off the block damage. They're going to lock us out, but that's fine because we've still got A1s. And I think we can clean us up with the A1s and bombs and poisons. So the bombs and poisons doing its job together. Now we can probably take out him with A1, and now we can see everything else coming in. We'll sleep him. There goes the poisons, there goes the bombs or poisons, whatever it was. And you can see that we had a little bit of a hard time because of the Sigfrid being in the Ferald. If the Sigfrid wasn't in the Ferald, like as you can see mine is also built as a counter for bombs and for Sigfrid, Gnishak, etc. Then this will work pretty beautiful and would have been a straight one shot. Now, I don't think there's any good teams here that we can take on. This one is a demon spawn team, so that will just get us apart. We can try take this team on. I'm going to have to bring a 6-star team presence to make sure that we're fast enough to go. It's extremely rare when people are faster. So the role here we're going to use with Gnishak is going to come in, bomb the team, try break the stone skin, and it'll kill with whatever poisons he can, as long as we don't weak hit on the Fabian. And then the Rodus is going to come up and clean the nice if he's in immunity, or that's what we kind of want to kind of happen. So we can do here, increase attack, go through like this, and then we'll play the A3, and then we'll play the A2. So we got resisted here. So you can see what we do need a little bit more accuracy. And now we should be able to kill everyone except for the Nice might survive potentially. But he's under stone skin, so he should generally die as well. So you can see the bombs and then the poison finish off the Arbiter. So the bombs didn't fully kill her because, you know, in stone skin you get more damage. And I would like to kind of take this team on again. So I'm not going to see if he survives. I just want to kind of showcase his team. And then we're going to swap out the Arbiter for someone that can be also be used with him, which I'm going to try and showcase now. So that's why we X in that fight. I think we pretty much won that fight overall. So we're going to come in with the Lamasu. And the reason why I've swapped her out is because Lamasu is really, really solid. Gives you the pinpoint in case you're going to get one stack or can't get any pinpoint. Together, these two have a really strong synergy. Pinpoint is really, really important for Gnishak. So if you haven't got no pinpoint or good pinpoint, focus on the stone skin side on the 4-piece and then push up his rest of his stats, and then you'll just have to pair these two together and take in consideration when you're taking them into live arena, pair them together. So you go like position 4 and 5 and the end mark, so you can do speed tune these three together. As long as we're faster, we should win this fight. We haven't got increased attack, so our damage from the bombs, it drops quite low, but then we'll see the poisons in effect here throughout the fight as well, as long as we don't weak hit on the Fabian, of course, or be slower overall. Or if we get 3%, and a creation can cause a little bit of a problem with bombs because it's still a debuff as well. So you'll see here, we still killed Arbiter, but Arbiter's a squishy champion anyway, which no one really kind of cares about. We're just going to do the A1 here as well. And again, if you can't get the stats on the Gnishak like I do, he's still worth building, which is what I'm going to showcase. You'll see here, go ahead, coming in, and then we're at a 38k damage from the poison. So really good against mythicals because they take the extra turn, which means he'll take that damage overall as well. You'll see here, he will also come in, and unfortunately he does get that AoE off as well, which is what it is. He will die at some point. We're actually just going to A3 him. And to be honest, he was a little bit lucky, if we're being honest. And you'll see here, we will survive and we'll go for the revive here. Could have slept him, but he doesn't sleep anyway because he'll just cleanse off for his passive. And we pretty much brought home the honey, brought home the kill, and kind of showcased that through as well. So I guess he's just a little OP with his passive ability, but again, Rodis did clean it up. You've seen the 511k damage from the Gnishak without increased attack, which I think is pretty solid and pretty respectful. I'm going to go ahead and try find some teams in bolster and to kind of showcase it against bolster as well, because bolster can be a problem for bombs because it can slow them down, and I just kind of want to showcase that against each other so you can see the poisons and the relic doing its job as well. Alright then, so we have our team here. I've set something up for our Gnishak. So again, I don't know if there's a bolster set here, but it's quite a tanky team. And the only way we really lose this is if we weak it pretty much or struggle to remove the block damage off Leo. So we're going to go in. So Fabian came in just for the lockout to kind of keep Leo from killing me, right, and causing me any issues. We do get the 3% or resisted on that. I don't know if it's a 3% or not. Potentially it could be a high resistance Necmo. Will come in with the increased accuracy, which is very solid for bombs. Weaken also increases damage as well. So the only thing that can work with increase in damage, if you guys are not aware, is increase attack and AoE weaken. AoE defense down doesn't affect the bombs multipliers whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead, we'll land the bombs. You can see there, we get a little bit unlucky on the Leo. Now I have around about 900 accuracy right now with that on top of that. So I guess this is kind of good because you can kind of see what happens. You will see that Mofala Lifebane can be a counter to bombs if she's in immunity. I've built her out on 1 or 2 accounts before in like immunity to kind of help me against bombs. Necrid can be really good as well against bombs on certain nukers, especially if you know all your HP champions. Again, on BM's account, I actually use my Necrid in a 9-piece protection to kind of help me against bombs if the certain team kind of fits that bill. We'll sleep her. You'll see that will come in. We did actually weak it as well on the Duchess, so the bombs was put on a 1-turn detonation. So that's one thing you'll need to take into consideration. I'm going to petrify her as well to remove that shields. Leo can't really do anything because again he's been locked out, which is wanted to try and stop us being killed from him. We are lucky enough to secure more bombs. I guess we should have let Leo die there. I guess what I'm kind of showcasing is if we don't kill by the bombs, you're going to kill by the poisons. As long as you get your turn, then that's going to be the way to go, right? So kind of again wanted to kind of showcase that overall. So you can see here we have a Gnishak as well here. So again, we can build something up stronger than him. Gnishak can be used as a solely nuker as well. So one team you can also use is something like this. So you have the increase attack, you have the increase accuracy with the weaken. And obviously, if you don't remove the stone skin, you want to try and avoid removing stone skin as possible and just use the accuracy up buff. So if you can use someone a bit better than Lady M, that would be good. But I know everyone has a Lady M, so it's kind of the best way to kind of showcase using Lady M is using the accuracy up. So you can see here it actually has a bolster set, which is a bit of a funny team. Oh, sorry, I had a shield set on, and it did look like a bolster, but it was a shield. And then we'll go ahead and put our bombs in. You can see here we don't actually do some high level damage, and you can see that this is not a well built team at all, because of how easy he was able to take us down. There's barely any critical rate on my Gnishak. Now Gnishak actually has really good multipliers, so you can afford to kind of build out 100% critical rate and some critical damage if you wanted to. I wouldn't probably go too much if I could, or you could also go a savage set as well with a pinpoint set if you really wanted to optimize this build, but you'd need to play like 6-star or 5-star and then really good stats across the board. You'll still want really high attack, etc., which I will go into in the second when we showcase this build. So let me go ahead and showcase the build and show you guys what we're working with overall with his build. And again, I do use him time to time, but the reason why I don't tend to use him so much is generally because of the Commodus, which is on my account. So we've gone 4-piece pinpoint. I do use him a lot with Lamasu in live arena if I'm going to use him. Then you can see here we've got a perception set and then a off piece as well. So the stats that we're focusing on is really good speed. So you know, if you're going to use him in live arena, you want to try and speed tune him with your teams. You do need to speed tune him. I've gone up against a couple of Gnishaks that not be speed tunes. Shuzen is really top tier with him as well, because you can build him up that 70% critical rate the way we're just talking about. You can see here Gnishak coming in with 7,675 attack and then coming in with 600 accuracy. I think this is a fairly good build for 5-star if I'm being honest. I can make this build better because barely a lot of stuff has not been touched, so we can go ahead and just check them out. So this should be attack or accuracy, this should be attack, and then this should be attack ring. So you can see there's only a double attack ring. Then these boots could be attack boots if you wanted, but I like the speed on mine. Then we've got the attack as well here, and then we've got the attack with the attack gloves as well coming across overall. So that's really important. You're looking for attack percentage as well, and this is a relic that we're talking about, right? The rarest poison's debuff deals a bonus damage equivalent to 50% of the target's max HP. I will grade this to level 4 at some point because it also does have that accuracy wall. So I could go ahead and say these, do use these, but I'm going to save them for other stuff. But we do get some accuracy here. I wish the kind of accuracy was on the middle row. However, I won't complain overall. Again, it's a level 15 for that little bit of extra accuracy, which is definitely not a bad way to go. And I wish that the circle, the gemstone was circle, because then you can use that bomb one, but really you don't really need to put a gemstone there at all, not for this champion anyway. So obviously getting fully booked. Lethal dose is going to be really important, and that's one thing you need to take into consideration. The increase of damage will receive 200% more from poisons, so that's pretty nice. Obviously we get additional there, and then we will also ignore 30% of the target's resistance when placing poison debuffs. So if we get resisted on the bombs, then we can still have a good chunk of poisons as well to kind of land there, which is pretty nice. Now let's talk about the masteries then. The masteries are pretty simple. You can pretty much skip some of these masteries. I like to come in with the Eagle Eye. Then we've got Master Hexer, which can increase the poisons overall. Then I guess Evil Eye for the A1, which is not bad. Law Steel would be really important for extra speed, accuracy, and attack. And then just coming in for the Blade, the Discipline, which is fine here. I don't think any of these really kind of matter on the side of this other than an attack side overall. He's a pretty simple champion to really build, to be honest, as an in-game player, because again, the main 3 stats you really kind of focusing on behind my big head, sorry, I need to kind of double check that, is the accuracy, speed, and the attack overall. I will put the timestamps down below on that as well. So you can kind of see that this is a really strong build. Let me know down in the comments, are you guys using your Gnishak? Have I kind of persuaded you to use your Gnishak as well? As long as you're doing hard faction wars, this relic is fairly attainable if you do have a Gnishak. And I think just having them built up in your arsenal for any type of PvP arena content is going to be doing. Now, obviously, we've got Siege, we have Classic Arena, we have 3 vs 3 Arena, and then we also have Live Arena as well. And he is fantastic for all of them content overall. I guess that's it for the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your clanmates as well to kind of use the Gnishak a bit more in the arena, and then let me know down in the comments. And let me know your comments as well on Gnishak if you are using him. Let me know down in the comments what description that you are using overall. The stats overall. As usual, hopefully you enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I've been Grim. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.